Hey Tennessee, John Gentry here. I wanted to reach out to everybody regarding this COVID-19 pandemic and how we deal with this in this uncertain time. I want to hit 3 points with you. There are effective methods to protest the conduct of the government, and I'm going to show you how to be effective. We've seen the protests out there. I have respect for those people that are standing up for liberty. I also have respect for the people who don't feel safe and want to stay at home. But I want to show you how to protest the government properly. I want to show you that the conduct of Governor Lee is unlawful and it's in violation of the state constitution. And I want to share my thoughts on why I believe there's a better way to deal with this pandemic that will save lives as well as maintain a productive economy. So the first point, how do we effectively protest conduct of the government? I'm going to refer, this is the Tennessee Constitution. This is the supreme law of the land. You can get this from the Tennessee General Assembly website as well as the Secretary of State website. And in Article 1, our Declaration of Rights, Section 23, it says that citizens have a right to apply to those invested with the powers of government for redress of grievances or other proper purpose by address or remonstrance. Tennesseans have forgotten what this right is. I'm the first one last year to have exercised this right since the year 1870 or 1850, 170 years ago. So what is a remonstrance? This is a remonstrance that we will present to Governor Lee, and I'm asking fellow citizens who want to protest this unlawful conduct to join with me as co-remonstrants to the governor, asking him to explain himself in violation of the Tennessee Constitution. And after we finish this, I'm going to go through, I'm going to share my computer screen with you in a different segment to this video and show you how we're going to get this done. So what is a remonstrance, and how do we do this? Well, a remonstrance is a formal written protest against the conduct of government or government officials. That's what a remonstrance is. And this will be presented as a memorial and remonstrance. And I'm reading from Black's Law Dictionary. A memorial is a document presented to a legislative body or to the executive by one or more individuals containing a petition or a representation of facts. And so the facts is we're going to state that the governor issued an order to stay at home. He issued an order to close businesses, and it's unlawful. It's clearly in violation of the Tennessee Constitution. And let's go back. Let's go back to the Tennessee Constitution. So Article 1, Section 3, again, our Declaration of Rights, it says that no human authority can in any case, whatever, control or interfere with the rights of conscience, and that no preference shall be given by law to any religious establishment or mode of worship. So when the governor says that we cannot assemble in groups of more than 10 people, issues an order to stay at home, he is clearly interfering with the right of conscience and people to worship in a congregation. Do I think it's a good idea to congregate during a pandemic? No. But regardless, the Constitution prohibits that. And once government steps outside the constraints of the Constitution, it opens the door for doing the same for improper purpose. And Tennessee Constitution Article 1, Section 23, it says that we have a right in a peaceable manner to assemble for our common good. So you can't prohibit people from assembling according to the state constitution. And this one is the most important. It's Article 1, Section 25. That martial law in the sense of unrestricted power of military officers or others to dispose of the person's liberties or property of the citizen is inconsistent with the principles of the government and is not confided to any department of the government of this state. Now, what the founders were saying here, unrestricted power, in the sense of unrestricted power, and that is exactly what the government, or what Governor Lee has done. This is an exercise of unrestricted power to deprive the basic right of liberty to go about as we desire. It is absolutely unlawful, and it is not confided to any department, not the General Assembly, not the governor, and certainly not the judiciary. Petitions used to be common. This is a petition. This was by my fifth great grandfather, Jesse Gentry. It was filed in 1801 with the Tennessee General Assembly. Petitions used to be very common, not so much to the executive, but when we have an executive stepping outside the provisions of the Constitution, we the people need to take a stand. And when I talk about this remonstrance versus protest, with protest, he doesn't have to answer, but with the remonstrance, he does. We say, you're in violation of Article 1, Section 3, 23, and 25. Explain yourself, because we want to prevent this from ever happening again, because while this may be for proper purpose, it can very easily be used for improper purpose to exercise unrestrained power prohibited in Article 1, Section 25. Now, my personal belief on this pandemic about there's a better way. We all know historically, whenever somebody has a dangerous disease that is contagious, or a dangerous virus like COVID-19 that is contagious, that you quarantine the person. You don't quarantine the entire society. I believe a better way to handle this would be that those who are high risk, absolutely shelter in place, stay at home. And the government should advise people as to who is high risk. Those people, and those who are loved ones that come in contact with those who are high risk, they too should absolutely shelter in place so that they don't capture it from everybody else that has it out, that may contract COVID-19 virus. When we shut down a society like this, I mean, obviously there's people that can't afford rent, can't afford food, is causing tremendous harm. Why shelter or why require everybody to stay at home? I think this is unnecessary. The people who are high risk or have to come in contact with high-risk people, like those who work in nursing homes, they should shelter in place. And the government should absolutely provide for them so that they don't starve and that they're able to make ends meet and meet their financial obligations. And that would be far less expensive than the $1 trillion+ CARES Act that the federal government has recently passed. Instead, just provide for those that need to shelter, educate them on who should shelter, and let the businesses compensate them. We know that the elderly are at high risk for this. Most of the elderly are not so much involved in the workforce, and so that should not disrupt their income too much. There has been shown that people with diabetes, African Americans are higher risk. And so if they have compromised immunity or otherwise high risk, stay at home. Yes, absolutely. But not require everybody to stay at home. What I think with this is, I've heard arguments out there, people may recontract the virus even after getting it and getting over it, and some other different arguments that I've heard out there. Well, based on that argument, I would say that a lockdown or this stay at home will eventually prove futile, because everybody's going to get it anyway, based on that argument. So I think that argument fails. But when we take and we sterilize society effectively the way that we are now, it weakens the herd. For the strong people who are healthy, who have good immune systems, let them go out and get it. For most people, it's not going to be worse than getting the flu. I believe if we don't do that and we continue to sterilize and vaccinate ourselves, I think it weakens long-term herd immunity. And as we get down the line, 10, 20 years, there will always be another pandemic. And I think it will be far more devastating if we don't strengthen our immunities today by allowing the strong amongst us to go out and contract and get better. I haven't heard any talk from the government about this kind of strategy. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know all of the facts. But I haven't heard government talk about this kind of strategy where we shelter the people that need to be sheltered. We let the strong in the population go out. Some of them are going to get it. There's going to be some that get it that don't even hardly miss a day of work. So these are my thoughts on this. So again, back in the beginning of the video, there's a better way to protest. That is done by remonstrance. That right is oppressed in the General Assembly. I hope the governor won't oppress this right. I believe that his conduct, based on my reading of the Constitution, is clearly unlawful. And I think that we should pursue and consider letting the strong amongst us deal with this pandemic. All right, Tennessee. So how do we protest unlawful conduct of the governor? It's really quite simple. I'm going to walk you through my website and what we will be presenting to the governor and how you will affect this and sign the document. So I'm going to share my screen here with you and walk you through this. So first thing, go to my website. It's wethepeoplev50.com. And just to make that easier for you, so that's We the People, V as in Victor, 50.com. And I don't know if Google doesn't like me. Sometimes this page doesn't load for people. But if you put this https:// and then type out We the People, V50.com, sometimes you may need to hit reload on the page. It'll get you there. So that's how you get to my website. And once you're on the website, if you're on a mobile device, there's the three lines. I think they're usually in the top left on an iPhone, and you can navigate to the page on my website called Resource Documents. So you go to the Resource Documents page, load that up, scroll down, and so here's the remonstrance that we'll present to Governor Lee. And here's the signature page for that. So let's look at the remonstrance. What we're going to present to him. Let me open that up. So here it is to Bill Lee, Governor of the state of Tennessee. Memorial and remonstrance. And this thing, I made this just as simple as I possibly can. And it says, to the Honorable Governor Bill Lee, governor of the state, or the Honorable Bill Lee, governor of the state of Tennessee, we citizens of the state of Tennessee have grave concern that you have exceeded your authority with forcing business closures and issuing stay-at-home orders. During the period of the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Bill Lee issued various orders causing the closure of businesses, causing unemployment, and the basic right to earn a living, and depriving citizens of basic liberty of free travel, right of assembly, right of conscience, and exercising prohibited unrestrained power. Although we believe the intentions of your high office were in the best interest of the citizens of the state, we also believe that it is not lawful to deprive citizens of the basic right of liberty. Respectfully, we here, undersigned, ask that you explain why you are not in violation of the Tennessee Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, with the various orders issued by your high office during the COVID-19 pandemic. We, the citizens of Tennessee, seek redress of grievance of unlawful conduct of the government, that the governorship resolves to never violate the Tennessee Constitution in such a manner again. We, the citizens of Tennessee, further seek redress that the governor respond to the public at large by address why he was or was not in violation of the state constitution, as well as individual responses to each covenant monstrance hereto undersigned, and then dated and from the citizens of the state of Tennessee. And this is the part I need you guys to do. So this is the signature page. This is what I need you guys to sign. And it just says, I, your name, am a similarly aggrieved citizen of the state of Tennessee, and you assert your right to reform and petition. As a citizen of the state, you also demand Governor Lee explain why he was or was not in violation of the Tennessee Constitution, and resolve to never violate constitutional provisions heretofore if found in violation, evidenced by my signature below. So I need you guys to go to my website, print this off, fill it out. You can take a picture of it, send it back to me, and then I will present this remonstrance on the behalf of all Tennesseans to the governor to explain himself, because I believe this is clearly unlawful. This process has not been done since the year 1850, and I'm going to share with you. This is a video on my website here, and this was the announcement of my remonstrance, the first since the year 1850. Hasn't been done in 170 years. And I want every citizen to know you have this right too, as long as it's for proper purpose. But here's the announcement of mine, the first since the year 1850.
Next order, Mr. Clerk. Petitions and memorials. Mr. Clerk. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Rule 15, we have a brief statement regarding a petition of remonstrance statement filed by Representative Hulsey. It reads, I'm approaching the Tennessee House Chief Clerk on behalf of Mr. John Gentry with this petition and statement. Involves a petition of grievances. 1, unconstitutional and void statutes. 2, failure to address grievances. 3, judicial reform. 4, reinstitution of constitutionally guaranteed rights. Signed, Bud Hulsey, Tennessee State Representative.
So that's the first time that right has been exercised since the year 1850, and I want every Tennessean to reassert this right. Certainly, asking the governor to explain himself is proper purpose, because I think pretty clearly he's in violations of the state constitution. So thank you for taking this time with me. I hope that we will all take a stand together to ensure that constitutional provisions are adhered to and that rights of the people are preserved. God bless, Godspeed to all of you out there. I pray that everyone is as safe as they can be. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.